Welcome to the Agents of the Unexplained podcast. From a haunted abandoned asylum to Sasquatch lurking in the dark woods and watching you, and all things unexplained, here are the stories from outside our realm. With your host, Bill Rigby.
Good evening, everybody. I'm excited tonight because I got the one and only Vance Nesbitt coming in. He's a man of knowledge, and I tell you what, the first time I actually met him is when I was on their podcast of Sasquatch Experience with Sean Porker and James Baker, and I'm telling you what, that's a great group of guys. Very knowledgeable. You'll learn a lot. So here. No further ado, let me bring this crazy man in with us.
You're the best. You're the best. Thanks, Bill.
You're welcome, Vance. Hey, no, you guys are the best. I love watching you guys and listening to you. You've got a great show, with Sasquatch Experience.
No, thank you. Oh, thank you. We greatly appreciate it. And let me throw a little kudos back to you. The next time you want to go on a helicopter ride, just contact me. I've got friends that fly helicopters. They'll take you on it. But the bottom line is, you have no idea how happy I am that you threw the double-barreled middle finger up and said, no, this is not my time, and I'm going to continue doing what I do. And we give you all the kudos. And when I say we, I'm talking about the entire community. We love you, brother, and we're glad we're glad that you're sticking with this and continuing on this project.
Hey, brother, I'm going to tell you straight out. I'll be doing it from the other side, too.
I'm sure you would. All I would ask is, you know what? I'll give you my address. Come to my house and visit me from the other side. That's cool. That's fine. Give me something to write about anyway.
Well, no, with all honesty, I gained notoriety for that.
I bet.
Oh, my God. And I was at a conference here just Saturday, Perryopolis, PA, a Bigfoot conference, and I did my first PowerPoint presentation.
All right.
It went over great. And then Fred Saluga gets up there and he says, folks, you know how he said about his podcast and that. He really does love doing his podcast.
Right.
But he is being flown by his helicopter flight and did a podcast from it. And I heard one lady said, that was you?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, that was me. That was me.
I couldn't laugh.
As long as we're on the aviation subject, this coming weekend, I booked a flight to fly on a World War II. It's a Beech 16, but it was a transport plane from World War II. And I'm going to sit in the co-pilot seat and fly that thing this weekend. So I'm getting to look forward to that. That'll be. And if I don't exist after that because something went wrong, well, at least I went down doing what I love. So. Aviation is my thing.
Yeah, it's crazy because it. No.
No.
My son-in-law was just trying to walk in. I went, no, I don't want to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, no, not now. We're talking about cool stuff. We're talking about really cool stuff. Like I touched base with you, Bill, earlier in the pre-show before doing this. There's two subjects I wanted to touch base on, but both subjects kind of tied together. And
I know the one I've been waiting for it since we discussed it.
oh, very good. Yeah, because, my feeble little brain kind of goes off into a rabbit hole going, wait a minute, there's a couple of things I want to discuss. And I love doing the Sasquatch experience with Sean and Baker and Matt Arner and Henry May. They're great guys. They are so enveloped in the whole Sasquatch community. And there's other aspects to the unknown that I do research, and it does not disnote or anything regarding Sasquatch. I think all of this is somehow intertwined with each other. Some way.
I agree.
Okay. So
I agree.
Back early last month, there was an event that happened in Las Vegas, and there was a 911 phone call made from an individual that said a UFO crashed in his backyard, and there were 2 9 to 10 foot tall humanoid creatures with large eyes in his backyard. And okay, that's kind of creepy, but Bill, you asked me prior to the show, do I have anything that photographs or I want? No. Any of the listeners, I encourage you, just go Google Las Vegas UFO crash. It's going to be the first thing that comes up because it's most prominent on Google search right now.
Yes, it is.
If you listen to this individual make this 911 call, there's a quiver in the voice. There's a lot of that leads you to, well, maybe something really did happen here. Maybe there is a 9 to 10 foot tall humanoid creature with large eyes in this guy's backyard. Now, interestingly enough, 2 days after that 911 call was made, a Las Vegas police officer's body cam was released. And you can see a blue streak coming out of the sky. And according to that report, landed in the general area of this 911 report. I cannot confirm nor deny. It may be skewed to make you believe, oh, here's a UFO crash.
Right.
So my point was that 2 full weeks after this event happened, nothing was said about, well, what happened to the craft, what happened to these creatures.
Exactly.
But the Las Vegas Police Department mounted security cameras on this individual's home without any explanation. Now, this individual was extremely concerned. It sounds that way on the 911 call, but sounds extremely concerned. But yet the Las Vegas Police Department goes out there and mounts security cameras around the property to surveil it.
Yes.
Now, are they doing this to try to capture this individual in fraud? Or are they doing this because they know something actually happened?
Okay, wait a minute.
That's up for speculation.
What is your speculation on that?
I don't know. I don't have anything tangible to work with. All I have is what the reports were.
Right.
I'm nowhere near Las Vegas to be able to step anywhere close to the property to see if the ground has been damaged. I
exactly. What there should be more videos, pictures, whatever.
Yeah,
okay?
Right. Exactly.
That's the number one thing I said right from the get-go. And number 2 thing, and you're going to laugh at this, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Yeah.
But no, seriously.
That's a good point. Now,
but
we
seriously,
don't know.
Where's the rest of the videos and pictures and all that?
Right, exactly. And we don't know if the local propane company changed its trucks to put the local propane company decals on the side of the truck to go to that property and remove anything. We don't know.
Right.
I'm only speculating, but I don't want to highlight on that story specifically. What I want to highlight myself on is one thing that happened in that story. So let's rewind this whole thing a little bit, because this is how my feeble little brain works.
Right.
I've had 3 incidences in my life where I saw something that I could not explain in the sky. A UAP, an unidentified phenomena that's flying in the sky. So who's to say, and I'm throwing total conjecture, and if any of our listeners want to come back to me and say, yeah, you're completely wrong, Vance, that's fine, because I'm always of open mind to have that great discussion, because that's how we get to the truth. So my thought is, as I'm thinking about all of this, I'm writing things down on Post-it notes, and I've got Post-it notes everywhere. So my thought is, look, what I have heard numerous times from the History Channel, from Animal Planet, from every other personal friend that I have through podcasts, I've heard a similar phrase posed, that these things must be 1,000,000 years more advanced than us. And I want to put the brakes on that and say, well, wait a minute. Why? That might not necessarily be true. So let me go into the fact of why I say that. We, as science, understand everything, or at least most of everything, regarding physics in our solar system and in our galaxy. And our galaxy is known as the Milky Way galaxy. We've done a lot of research, and we have a pretty good understanding of physics. But there are 2 things that stand out that we do not understand. We do not understand gravity. Science does not have a definitive understanding of what creates gravity. We put elements together, but we do not have a solid definition of what creates gravity. And we also do not have any evidence solid in the same manner to what dark matter is. We know it's there. We understand it's there. So let's say, for example, that alien creatures are a real thing. Let's just clear the table and say, no, aliens are a clear thing. And they either come through a wormhole or they come from a different dimension. That does not specify the fact that they're more technologically advanced than us. It just means that their physics that they have, we don't have, and the physics we have, they don't have. So when you go back to listen to the Bob Lazar story of element 115, when he spoke of it in the 80s, of element 115, which has anti-gravity properties, and it wasn't until the 1990s that element 115 was actually discovered for a nanosecond that, yes, it does exist. How did Bob Lazar know this? How did he know element 115 would be a thing? So possibly, maybe a extraterrestrial being, whether it's interdimensional or from another solar system or from our planet under the oceans, doesn't have contain of this element, and say, well, this is kind of cool stuff. And we have this metal, well, let's call the metal, flubber-duber metal. Right. Whatever. Yeah. We know our midals as aluminum and steel and mercury and gold and silver. Those are our elements of metal. But maybe they have a metal that has memory capabilities, and that pisses them off. They're like, we crushed up our can of Coke and it pops back to original form again. It's kind of sucks because, okay, maybe they have the Fluber metal. I don't know. I'm only speculating. But if they took element 115 or whatever element they may have and put it into a craft that they built and said, wow, it's got anti-gravity properties, and it's the same property as if you have we all have a bottle of dish soap. I'm sure most of us that are listening probably have a bottle of dish soap. You shake it up and you get an air bubble in there. And then you squeeze one end of the bottle and that bubble travels to one side, and you squeeze the other end and it flies to the other side. It has its own atmosphere. Nothing outside is affecting that atmosphere. And it may very well be that they have an element that kind of represents the same thing as the bubble in a bottle of dish soap, that no gravity, no G-force actually affects the atmosphere inside that bubble, which all goes back to Bob Lazar's theory, or Bob Lazar's theory of what it was that they accumulated. But I guess my underlying point is, are they a million years more advanced than us? I put the brakes on that. I think
I wouldn't go a million
years. Yeah,
they're here to learn what
years.
We have. I think they come here to learn and see what we have that they can incorporate with what they have.
I totally agree with you, because we have elements here that may not be existent in other parts of our galaxy, not our solar system, but our galaxy and other galaxies. We can humanly manufacture a magnetic field. And I think every one of our listeners has a magnet sticking on their refrigerator, holding up their kid's drawing from school.
At least one.
At least one. But you have a magnet that has an energy field that is attracted to metal or attracted to another magnetic field. And we're able to generate that because magnetic field is just a natural property of our physics on this planet. And so we're able to regenerate that. But it's quite possible that outside of that spectrum, that magnetic field may not be recreated. And so it's possible that they may want to see, look, every generator and every motor that's existed on our planet uses magnets in order to operate that motor or generator. And it creates power. And it's quite possible that even something as simple as H2O might be something that is attracted to something from another dimension or galaxy to bring here to say, oh, this is a substance that we can use to further advance what our technology is, that does not make them a million or 10,000 or 1,000 years more advanced than us. They just have something that we don't have, and we have something that they don't have. So
which is a very, very, very good possibility right there.
Right. So I guess my bottom line to that point is, since the 1940s to today, which is what I wanted to highlight in the beginning of this segment, if they are that further advanced than us, then why the hell are there so many crashes? Bob Lazar spoke with many other people that said, these things came out of excavation points and were damaged. Roswell was a crash. That was recovered. Theoretically, I don't know. I wasn't there. But how many times do we have reports of a UFO crash? Well, if you're a million years more advanced than us, I don't think you'd be crashing your vehicles on this planet. So there's kind of a miscorrelation here,
Right.
at least in my opinion, because in our space exploration, we've had a couple of tragedies,
Yes,
but
we
we're
have.
not crashing. We're not crashing rockets on the moon on an every other day basis. We're just not. We want to get the science down to a specific that a humanoid or a human or an astronaut or a cosmonaut could travel to that heavenly space, whether it be the moon or Mars and beyond, safely and return them back home again. Where here, look at how many times we've had reports of alien spacecraft crashing here. That does not, to me,
How many is
correlate.
meters, but how many are actually alien spacecraft?
Right. And look, again,
I'm playing devil's advocate there. But Gary Overfield said, Bill, if they are 20 years ahead of us, just imagine the science. Look how we have moved forward in the last 20 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. Yes. I can accept 20 years advance of us, even 50 years. But a million? No.
But and the only reason why I brought up a million is because I've heard that term used so many times over and over and over and over. They must be a million years more advanced than us. I'm like, I don't think so. So the reason why I brought that up, you and myself and all our listeners, I'm kind of hungry and I want a Big Mac. You walk out your house, you get in your car, you start the engine, you drive over to your local McDonald's, you go through the drive-thru and you get yourself a Big Mac. Do they do that in Tanzania? No, they don't. These people were created at the same time you and I were.
Yep.
And they will grab at early dawn when the sun is coming up, they grab their tools, their spears, and they're going to go hunt for their meals. I don't mean any disrespect because this is their culture. They go out through the absolute craziest environment barefoot, and they're going to go hunt baboons. And they're going to kill a baboon and bring it back to the tribe, and they're going to fillet it and that's their dinner. While the wives or the women of the tribe are gathering all the harvestable produce, the leaves, the berries, and so on. You take that culture with our culture. It's just like one is completely opposite of the other. And that's why I bring up this whole thing. That doesn't mean that they're more advanced than us. They've been around for the same amount of time. They have a different approach of how they consume what it is that they need.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Now, we've seen different UFO movies, Independence Day, where they're coming to take exterminate us and take all our minerals. I don't buy into that one so much.
No, I don't either. They would have done it already if that were the case. But I want to bring up another point, too, that maybe not too many listeners have even given consideration to. So let's throw Sasquatchery and alien entities and the Mothman and the Goatman. Throw your cryptids into this field. Not all the cryptids, but good majority of them. So the design is, whatever the design is, whether it comes from God or the universe, the design is 2 legs with feet to keep balance. That's attached to a lower torso that's attached to an upper torso. The upper torso has 2 arms with appendages, whether it has an opposable thumb or not, which a lot of them all have an opposable thumb, with a neck and a head. And on the head, there's 2 binocular visual aids, being the eyes, a breathing mechanism as the nose, a communication mechanism known as the mouth, and 2 ears for hearing. We see that throughout the cryptid and the alien in every book. You see the same design. It has to be the perfect design for a bipedal creature to have 2 legs, 2 arms, a nose, 2 eyes, 2 ears, and a head with the communication center on top of the head. Well, if this is coming from another dimension whatsoever, it's still the perfect design. And that makes me feel like, wow, I'm pretty special because I have the ultimate design universally. And perhaps Bigfoot has that same design. It's got all those features and is yet able to maintain itself as unseen, undiscovered, even though I believe it's been discovered. It's just not discovered scientifically, but it remains elusive. Let me put it that way.
Well, I can honestly say, they are elusive. They have been seen, sort of discovered, but scientifically, no. I agree. But with my sighting, which was so damn close to me,
right?
You're right. Universally, you're right. The way the description. Some, they don't look the same. Of course, Dogman and Bigfoot don't look the same.
No,
but you and me don't look the same either.
They have the same basic design, and that's what I go with, because in the animal kingdom, they do not.
Right.
And I think that's probably why humanity finds, and when I say humanity, I'm talking to all of us on the globe, find a lot of this terrifying because we're never taught that there's other bipedal creatures from birth. We're taught about giraffes and zebras and monkeys and peacocks and birds. We've never been brought into the whole envelope of there's other bipedal creatures, and I think somehow in our DNA that kind of triggers us into fear. And I think a lot of fear comes from, and I have not personally had a Bigfoot encounter where I saw something. I've only had an encounter where I heard something and didn't know, and my mind went completely wild going, whoa, what is this? But had I seen something, I think it would have been probably 5 times more terrifying to see a bipedal creature, whether it's of an alien species or of a indigenous species of this planet.
Well, that's the thing. All right, I've had a sighting, and I was never afraid of anything in my life. I got startled, but I was never afraid.
Right.
And now I realize I am only human, not superhuman, because I got scared. I really got definitely scared, because even though I believed, I never saw one. And when I finally saw one 15 feet away from me, I was going to feel my pants. But, it's
understandable.
And it's like, okay. But when it stood up next to that tree and I actually saw the exact size of that creature, it's like, wow. Just I've never seen nothing that massive. I've seen gorillas in the zoos, and this thing makes a gorilla look short.
Exactly.
And this thing's as wide, if not wider. So it is what it is.
Right. Well, I concur with the fact that, on a daily basis, we discover creatures that have not been discovered before, whether they're minute or whether they're a little bit larger. We find new snake species, we find new reptile species, and I put that all into collaboration. But I have a feeling that the species of Bigfoot, and I made this perfectly clear on the Sasquatch Experience, I truly believe, with a couple of close people that I know, that have had an encounter, I truly believe, yes, these things do exist. I will not doubt that. You show me proof that they don't exist, okay, I'll look at it, but you can't. And nobody has yet been able to prove the fact that they don't exist.
Exactly.
And with the amount of evidence day after day after day that's left behind, it just leads me to the point, okay, I have a feeling there's probably an intelligence level that understands what the boomstick is. It's seen what the boomstick can do. And when I speak of boomstick, I'm talking about, arms, whether it's shotgun or rifle. And they understand this is a dangerous animal. And humans are notoriously the most dangerous species on this planet.
Very. I mean, I've said that every time I go out. Every time I go out with different people on an investigation or just research, I says, I personally don't carry a weapon into the woods when I go out. Other ones do, for one reason. Not that they are afraid of the Bigfoot or whatever. It's the other human.
Right.
And you don't know what you're going to come into.
No, that's true.
And here's what Mike Hartman says. We usually look down on other bipedal creatures of less intelligence of our deeming. Native Americans were considered heathens with bounties for their scalp. Africans were enslaved. Look at the British and how they treated Aboriginals. And that is very true. We think they are lesser than us, and which is totally wrong. And I tell everybody, with a Bigfoot, he's not street smart. He's wood smart.
Right.
Yeah.
And I totally agree with that. And to reflect on what he had just posted there, that kind of goes back to the analogy that I brought up earlier, is you're just talking about two different species from two completely different environments, but yet we were all created at the same time.
Exactly.
We just have different elements about how we survive. And some of us use technology to survive more conveniently, but not necessarily more healthfully. Okay, you can go to a McDonald's. Is that the healthiest thing that you're going to consume for the day? No, it's really not. But if you take down a baboon that's not organically injected with any, or you understand what I'm saying?
Hormone injections,
hormone injections, and you have, your GMOs posted on your fruits and berries. No, you're not. It's just two different complete environments that coincide at the same time with each other, but yet one is not familiar with the other.
Exactly. And I agree 100% with that. And something we were talking about earlier, and this just came in for me. Here, let me put it up there. Let's see if you can see it.
Yeah, sort of.
Hey, Powerball ticket.
Oh, you're going to be my $1 billion winner, are you?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, we're best friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Till the money comes in.
My best friend is Bill Rigby. I'm writing
the billionaire,
and I'm going to date it right.
And we can go to Sean and tell him to change the nickname from Hilly Billy to Billionaire Bill.
Billionaire Bill. Yeah, that would be awesome. He'd be on board with that. Of course he would.
Yes, he would. Yeah,
he'd be on board with that.
But with all honesty, I believe the Sasquatch is a very intelligent creature.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. That's the thing. But they're wood smart.
Yeah,
I know how to use their environment. Like we know how to use our environment out here.
Right. I believe that they are like what you just said. They're wood smart. Just like the porpoise or dolphin, however you want to refer to them as. They're water smart. They have behaviors. They're very social. They take care of their family unit. They fight for each other. They fight for food. I think it's kind of the same thing. Do they want to be technologically more advanced? No, because I don't think they have the physical ability to become more physically advanced. And I don't think a Sasquatch has the ability to become more technologically advanced than what it already is. It's comfortable in its environment. And when you encroach on its environment, you get kind of angry, just like you would be kind of pissed off if somebody walked through your front door because you left it unlocked while you're in your bedroom watching TV. You're going to be a little bit pissed off. Yeah, get out of my woods. I totally get that. And I also understand with the plethora, which you've listened to, which I've listened to, with hunters and hikers and so on that have had an experience where it's caught them off guard. They've seen this creature. The creature sees them. And yeah, it's a little startled on both ends, but it seems like 90% of the time it's, get out of my neighborhood without any physical harm. Now, to say for those that are missing, maybe those that are missing, we wouldn't know because they're missing. Okay. Yeah. We just wouldn't know. But I'm not sure that the whole thing enveloped is a violent activity. I don't believe that this is a savage beast that has a taste for human blood and wants to kill a person at every. No, I don't think so. I think it just needs to be left alone because it understands that if you and I were in Africa and we came across a pack of hyenas, you know what hyenas are capable of.
Yes.
You just kind of want to turn around and walk away and leave that pack of hyenas alone. And I kind of feel that it might be the same thing. These are dangerous species. I want to make my presence be known, be bigger than them, but I think I need to back away. Which, all leads me back to the house slaps. When people are in remote areas and they hear a slap on the house and they find handprints, you're kind of in my area and I don't like it. And I want to kind of intimidate you somewhat, but I don't know what you're capable of. So I'm going to run away, but I'm going to let you know I'm here, but I'm going to run away. And those are the cases that I find the most fascinating is that they'll come in close without detection and make themselves be known, but then they skedaddle away, hoping that, I think I'm going to pack my bags and move. And that's the end game.
That is the end game for them until they realize, well, these people ain't moving. So now we got to coexist.
Right. Well, there is a lot of that too. There is a lot of coexist. One of our best guests, not the best guest, but one of our best guests on the Sasquatch Experience is Julie Wrench. And she's just on the outskirts of the Wari Forest. And she puts out a recorder on her back porch on a regular basis. And she has recorded some of the creepiest stuff. I mean, Sean felt the same way. You kind of get nauseous listening to some of the audio that she has captured.
Right.
Whatever it is, it's speaking her name. It's speaking her husband's name. There's babbling going on. And the Uwari in that area is notorious for Sasquatch travel and experiences by other people. So it kind of leads me back to the fact that, okay, they're being very vocal and they don't know that they're being recorded, but she goes through hours and hours. She has so many hours of audio recordings that she sent over to David Ellis. at the Olympic project.
Yeah.
And David says, yeah, this is an unknown creature.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, this is an unknown creature, but you can clearly hear speech. You can clearly hear that it's trying to communicate, but not necessarily with each other, but maybe with her home and her husband in the home.
See, that's not the only time I ever heard of them using human language.
Right.
You know, I've heard different ones. They weren't total human language, and I hate this word, but some people even say samurai chatter.
Right.
No, I'm sorry. No, that's not right. I'm going to say wood chatter.
Right. There's a little bit of both in that. And like you said, you're kind of uncomfortable, but a lot of it, to myself and to Sean and to James and to Henry, it sounds like somebody that, and again, this is no disrespect because, hey, the environment in which we live in right now and political correctness, but it sounds like somebody that has Down syndrome is trying to speak.
Yes.
And you can understand some of it and you cannot understand a lot of it. Right.
Thank you for saying that, because I thought that and I didn't really want to come out and say it like that.
No.
But you're right.
If you think of the brain capacity of a creature that lives in the woods, it's quite possible that that's where that intelligence level is at. Look, any Down syndrome person that I know that I'm friends with that work at the grocery store here are very capable, and they live on their own, and they're very friendly, and they do their own thing. They're no different than you and myself. No difference whatsoever. The communication is a little bit different, but that's it. That's the only thing that's different. They do their own thing. They're happy. They go about their job on a regular basis, and yet their communication is slightly different than ours. Well, what makes our communication normal? Maybe it's their communication that's normal, and ours is abnormal because of how we've evolved. Who's to say?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm very close and emotional when it comes to Down syndrome people.
Right.
Because
likewise,
I was 14 years old and went to, it's called Camp Big Bird, for these challenged kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one-on-one with the one. So that my one neighbor that lived behind us, he was Down syndrome. And so but you're right. And I did not want to go that route.
No, understandable.
Then something else I learned, a friend of mine, I finally got to meet him in person this past Sunday, Arnie DeVoe. He told me this 2 years ago. With his encounter, the Sasquatch was using hand signals.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, and they were close enough for him to even see the dermal ridges in the fingers. And so I believe they can do that even.
But does that not correlate with wood knocks then?
Yes.
If you're using a sign language of some sort in wood knocks, that seems very comparable to me. That makes kind of sense to me. Wow.
Yeah. Well,
I haven't heard of that before. That's the first time I've heard of the at least sign language or an aspect of sign language. That hasn't been brought up to me before, but wow, I'm glad you brought that up because that kind of makes sense to me.
I'll introduce you to him. I'll have him get a hold of you. Yeah, so you can get his story, because I'm telling you, it's very interesting.
Right.
And he there's one other person that said the same thing. I'm trying to think who it is. That's right. Gary Everfield says he also spoke that they didn't have a lifeline in the palm of their hands like
Right.
us do.
Right.
You know, he, but his was, he felt like it was kind of, at first trying to communicate with them, but at the same time, it felt like he's being drawn into him.
Right.
And so he'd be more relaxed when another one was circling around to him.
Right. Right.
Right.
Well, it's kind of interesting, Bill, that you brought that whole thing up, because I don't believe that all species, and let's just say our Bigfoot or Sasquatch or whatever you want to refer to it as, I don't believe that they're probably all created exactly the same way. Just like humans are not. We have autistic humans that are extremely intelligent, but yet they have that separation from the human race. Why wouldn't that be the same possibility in another indigenous creature that is undiscovered? And maybe you do have autistic. Maybe you do have a Down syndrome. Maybe you do have something that is with a greater high IQ than any other creature in its environment, and it's kind of isolated because of the fact that it has a higher IQ. It might be isolated for that reason, but yet we still have documentation or an encounter with that, and we're like, oh nope, this is how this creature acts. Yeah, it maybe the one that you had an encounter with acts that way, but I don't think all of them are that way.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I've been saying this for a while now. You know, look at the human race, how different ones are.
Right.
You'll have a rogue serial killer. You might have one of those in the Bigfoot world.
Right.
You just don't know. You don't really know.
No, you don't
know.
know.
And the thing is, it might have got up on the wrong side of the bed that morning and then pissed off mood. So it throws a tree at you.
No, it's understandable.
Yeah.
And maybe, you've got a Bigfoot in the Pacific Northwest that's like, wow, these green leafy 5-leaf things are kind of tasty, and I'm getting quite a buzz off of it. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at what happened with that story that came out on whatever it was a while ago. These pot farmers and they got mauled by a big. Well, maybe it eats this stuff and gets buzzed too. Who knows?
I should have known.
It gets a little goofy in the head. I believe that with other animals. I totally believe. I believe bears have come across hemp fields and pot fields and nibbled on the fruits and get a little buzzed. Oh, what's this movie that just came out?
Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear. Okay, as far-fetched as that seems, if you were to introduce something like that to a bear, I don't think it's going to act normal like a bear. It's just not. And it's very possible that you have a little bit higher intelligence level than a bear, because the bear does not have an opposable thumb, and you do have a higher intelligence level with an opposable thumb. Just take a look at the primate world. Maybe they did the same thing we did. In our evolution, who was the first person to look at this giant insect that lived in the water and said, I'm going to try to eat that, and pulls it out of the water, and it's an 8-legged crab, and they crack it open to eat it? Who was that first person? Yeah. Okay. So I think animals probably venture into just about every kind of vegetation possible, and through elimination, it figures out, this isn't healthy because Dad died from that. I'm not going to eat that.
Yes. Here's something Mike Hartman just wrote. Or is the Gorval language from inbreeding? Some inbreeds live a productive life. how many Bigfoot does it take for inbreeding not to occur? All the deer in Ohio and the inbreeding happens every fall.
Right.
Uh,
That's a great point.
Yeah. Well, Mike, he's a little off upstairs with his jokes and the way he jokes around.
That's fine. And I love that aspect.
Oh, I do too. He's my brother from another mother, I'm telling you. But he is very intelligent when it comes to the outdoors, the woods, the hunting, the Bigfoot, researching. He tries cutting edge research techniques that he comes up in his own head to do. And it's like, how'd you come up with that? And he can come up with it. The man's very intelligent, and he really is. And I love him to death. But yeah, he does get some of his stuff does get a little out there.
Right. But that's what I love about this whole thing.
Yes.
I want the people that get way outside the box, because we would have never made it to the moon if we didn't think way outside the box.
Exactly.
And for all the listeners that said, we never went to the moon. Yeah, okay, we'll go down to your local planetarium and take a look, because you can see the flag. How the hell did the flag get there? And I'm not going to get on a political rant, but I love the fact that there's people that think way outside the box, because that's what it takes to get to some truthful answers, to go, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And
exactly.
Yeah, now you can start putting the pieces together.
Like my good friend told me, he says, look at it, study it, deduct what it is, but think outside the box.
Right. Yeah, you
think
have
outside.
to.
And
right.
I always has, but he still ingrains that into me. And and I love him for it. And
well, it's a good reminder anyway.
Yes.
It's a good reminder that that's what keeps you on the path and what you stay on, which is how I kind of started this whole conversation off with is I'm trying to think outside the box to say, I don't think creatures from whether another dimension or another solar system or our solars, I don't know that they're that more advanced than us. I put the brakes on that. They just may have something that we don't have, and we have something that they don't have. And it kind of balances out. Because again, I'm going to go back. Why the hell so many UFO crashes? What? Really? You're a million years more advanced? Then why the hell are you crashing so many of your craft on our planet here, where we can find them later on in excavations or at Roswell?
That's why they're doing it.
And pull the body.
That's why they're doing it, so we advance ourselves so they can get it.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't think that's really the case.
We can become a trading like we do with other countries.
You know, and let's put it into a different, a little different kind of perspective here. You know, NASCAR, that's a big thing with a lot of people. I love NASCAR. I used to love watching NASCAR. Not so much anymore because my venues go off in a different direction. But there's always car wrecks. People always show up to watch the big car wreck. Well, the car wreck doesn't happen on purpose. And so they've developed more and more and more and more technology to keep the driver safe when the car wreck happens. But when you have an alien craft that crashes, you have injured species. Oh, one survived and we're trying to keep it on life support. Well, I can't confirm nor deny that actually happened. But don't you think there'd be a couple of safety features put in there, considering the fact of what just happened a little over a month ago in Las Vegas?
Something Gary Overfield just said. Gary Overfield just said if it was that damn smoke from Canada that made it crash.
Oh, you know what? That's a whole other aspect. That's an entirely different show, Bill. So apparently you and I are going to have to get back together. What the hell? In my entire look, I've been around many years, many. I'm as old when dirt was new. Okay. This has never happened before.
On you when you was a baby, huh?
Yeah, I think you did. But this has never happened before with all this smoke coming out of Canada. I'm like, Okay, well, I'm going to speak in my Canadian voice, eh? Are there guys there in their Tyvek suits and they're pouring some chemicals on because there's private pilots that have been video camera, or with their phones, helicopters with hot coals in their buckets starting these fires. What is happening? Why are they starting these fires? Chicago just got hit 2 days ago again with smoke warnings. And this has been going on for nearly 2 months now with the smoke warning. Well, I'm like, what is happening?
Well, I saw something posted about the average wildfires is like 1 million acres a year up there. That's the average.
Right.
And at that point was already over 10 million acres. Now, this has been going on for a month and a half, 2 months.
Right.
And no, I'm sorry. Something's going on.
No, I hope that there's no, Tyvek suits pouring this powdery shit on the ground and then they're starting the fires. I'm not a conspiracy guy, but these are things that go through my head is why now? Why all and then you get Justin Trudeau going, hey, it's climate change. No, the hell it is. You deliberately started these fires.
Yes.
I don't deny climate change. Climate change has always happened since the beginning of time. As a matter of fact, for those that are, it's climate change and we're all going to die because of human nature. First off, Lake Huron, Lake Ontario, Lake Michigan, Lake Superior, and Lake Erie, the 5 Great Lakes, those used to be glaciers. They all melted, and now they're the Great Lake. Climate change has always happened. But to say, Bill, I'm sorry, you're personally responsible because you got in your car and you drove somewhere to go get some. No. It's always happened. So stop trying to manufacture something.
Exactly.
And if that's what Canada is doing, I'm telling you, I'm going to go punch somebody in the face because I've been dealing with allergies with this smoke stuff. My eyes are burning. And I'm like, this is insanity.
Yes. I got COPD. I do. And my allergies. And with the blood clots and everything, I was blaming that on the allergies and COPD till the blood clots got so many in my lungs that I had to go to the hospital.
No.
And do my Bigfoot recon in a helicopter.
Yeah, well, like I said at the beginning, we're all of us are extremely grateful that you're still sitting here behind the camera and you threw the double-barreled middle finger up and said, no, not today. Yeah. But I got this cool helicopter ride. But if you want to go on a helicopter ride, like I said, this weekend, I'm going on a Beech 16 World War II aircraft, and I'm going to do some flying in that thing in the co-pilot seat. So if you want to go flying, you just let me know. I'll get you guys on a helicopter at any time, and you can videograph.
I definitely want to do that because it was kind of hard doing that live.
I know.
And laying in that bed, there's no room in a light flight helicopter. How the hell do they work on you in there?
I'm trying to gurney.
I'm leaning up, and I got my phone out the side window, and it's like.
But you did pretty damn good. I mean, hey, the visuals were pretty damn. I was like, I'm impressed. The guy's in distress, but let's get some really vivid and beautiful shots out of the window. Good for you. But no, I'm really glad that you're all on board with us and you're going to stay that way with us for another 1,000 years. Yeah, no, we're very happy for that.
And I want pictures of you in that plane.
Oh, I'll send pictures. I'll send
I
pictures.
definitely do.
They're not all that fond with a lot of the, but whatever. You know me. I'll have my phone with me, and then I'll send pictures because that's what I do. Yeah,
that's a fun experience there.
I've been an aviation fanatic for years, ever since I was a little kid, and I had the privilege to work in aviation for 13 years of my life. And, I got to fly some really cool vintage aircraft. And so I'm just looking forward to this weekend to get back behind the co-pilot seat again and pull that yoke and take off and listen to radial engines roar and wake up the entire neighborhood, because that's the best part of it. Wake up the neighborhood and get that thing roaring.
Yeah, that's the thing. That gets your blood rushing too.
Yes, it does.
Yeah,
right.
Yes,
it does.
I'm excited for you. I really am.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate the fact that you reached out and contacted me and said, "Hey, Vance, how would you like to do my show?" And it's like, no, of course, absolutely. I would be excited to do that, because I've always wanted to share things outside of the Bigfoot spectrum, but it's still, like I said, also, I think it's all kind of intertwined somehow, some way. I think all of this is just kind of interlinks with each other in the cryptid world and in the ufology world. I think all of this just kind of is just tied together somehow. I just haven't figured out how yet.
Right. And hopefully we can soon. But we still got a lot of work to do with it.
Before we leave this planet, I would like to know an answer. Absolutely.
Yeah, and my group, Agents of the Unexplained, covers all the cryptids, paranormals, and everything.
Right.
And that's why I created this group. And yes, I'm fond of researching Bigfoot. I love researching Bigfoot, but I love researching the other stuff as much.
Likewise.
A lot of people. Yeah, because I'm like you. Somehow it's all intertwined.
I think so. I do.
And I'm not a total government conspiracy theorist. I do think they're hiding information from us.
A small group, I believe, is hiding. Maybe not hiding, but they're just, they're. I don't know if there's that whole conspiracy. Oh, you can't have this information. But I think there are those that know things that we don't know, and they swore an oath, and they're just going to keep it as it is. And I'm not sharing that with you because I don't want a bullet put in my head. I want to love my wife and my kids while I'm living out my retirement years.
Exactly.
I think that's probably a part of it. Could be wrong. I'm always up for, I could be wrong, but I definitely have a feeling that that's probably a possibility, that there's a lot of things, and taking a look at our military advancements, there's things going on right now that we're not going to find out about for another 25 years. That are
there's some stuff we found out.
Right.
Iraqi war. Some of the equipment they used is like, when did they come up with this?
Right.
And they had it for a while.
Right. So, we're not going to know about today's technology in 2023 for another 20 years.
Right.
And exactly. I'm okay with that. Just keep me protected. Keep my country protected.
Yes.
Same here. And I'll end with this. Let me end with this, and then, we'll carry on from here. I have traveled, and I've been privileged to travel around the world. I've been to all sorts of countries, but I will tell you this: America is the coolest country on this planet. We have created everything that made this world so much more advanced. We've created electricity, the light bulb, rocket travel, space science. We have created so much, the internet. We have created so much in this great country of ours. Don't hate on this country, because this is definitely the coolest country on the planet. Being to other countries, they're beautiful, like their cultures, but they're not nearly as cool as the United States of America.
110%. And different ones, Vance said, thank you for sharing your knowledge.
No, I appreciate that.
And, as a veteran, we are the coolest country.
Yes, we are.
And I agree 110%. I might not agree with a lot of crap that happens here.
Nope. No.
Hey, it's a free world over here. It might not
Right.
be over there, but it is here.
Right.
So they're allowed.
You're a veteran of
the Army.
Oh.
Oh, don't look down on me here, boy.
No, I'm not looking down on you because you're going to look down on me. I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force.
No, I'm not. You were air support by that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very cool.
You were the air support, yes.
Yeah.
That's why I said don't look down on me, air boy.
No,
I knew
not at all. Are you kidding?
The way you
Army
love
is
aviation,
badass, man. I've got more Army gear in this house than I do Air Force gear, so there you go. Yeah.
Well, you're not allowed to keep a B-52 in your house. Come on.
Hey, my brother was a tail gunner on B-52, so there you go.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah, pretty cool. Useless facts for our listeners. They're all rolling their eyes going, oh, really? Shut up now. I don't want to hear about that. I just want our listeners to know you live in the coolest country on the globe. If you've never traveled off the continent of the United States, take my word, take Bill's word. You live in the coolest country on the entire planet. Yeah, there's beautiful places to go to, but this is definitely the coolest place.
This flag right here behind me,
was
given to me from a Vietnam vet. I love the man dearly.
Okay.
I had the Pentecost. No, don't ever forget.
No.
He has worked with the vets after he got out of the service.
Okay.
And he has worked with the vets for like 30 plus years. Helping them.
Right.
This ain't one of those flea market special flags. This is a double-sided POW flag.
Right.
Great quality. He says that would look good on your back wall.
No, it is.
During your podcast. And that's where it's at.
Yeah. Never forget our prisoners of war. Never.
No, never. And we're still missing some from over there in Nam, missing in action. Are they still alive? Nah. But,
no, but don't forget them. Don't forget them. Don't ever forget them.
I think of them every day. But anyhow, we've been at it for a little over an hour now, Vance.
It's been a pleasure.
Oh, my God. It's been a pleasure on my end, believe me. And I'm so happy you were
Bill.
here. I've been saying this is a great month of people I'm having on.
I know. Seeing your lineup, I'm like, okay, I'm getting a little jealous. I want to hang out with all you people.
But no, I'm so excited you agreed to do it this month, along with Fred.
No, thank you.
I had Todd Neese on last week.
Right.
You next week, Steve Ward from Point Pleasant.
Steve's great.
Oh my God, I'm excited about. This month's been awesome.
No,
I don't want it to end.
No, I've had conversations on our show with Steve. Great individual. Yes. I mean, very knowledgeable, and that'll all play itself out in those shows. And your listeners are going to go, no, they're right. No, these are very Todd Neese. Wow. Yeah. Great experience that guy has, and great research that he has done from the experience that he had. Kudos to all these people. They're great, and I would like to give a great big group hug to everybody without it being kind of weird.
It never gets weird. Next month I got a decent month. I got a great lineup. Right. I have one cancellation for the 16th.
Well, if you need a fill-in, feel free. You can contact me. I'd be more than happy to. I was going to ask too if you need.
I was thinking of asking on that.
I'd be more than happy. We can talk about the flat Earth. How about that?
I thought we were going there today. I really did it when you started going about. I started. I'm like, is he going to hit flat Earth?
Let's talk about Walmart and the flat Earth. How about that?
That sounds good.
No, absolutely. If you need a fill, please feel free to contact me. I'd be more than happy to join you again, Bill. It's been a pleasure.
Oh my God, yes, it has. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Because Vance, you are a pleasure to have on with your knowledge and everything you like to share. People, you can catch them on Sasquatch Experience.
I'm the news guy.
He is the news.
I do the news for the Sasquatch Experience. We call it the Bigfoot Bullhorn. I give you updates on up and coming events and goofy ass stuff that might be in the news as of late that has to do with either Bigfoot or the natural world that might tie in with Bigfoot. But feel free to catch us at the Sasquatch Experience and it's every other Monday. So on July 31st, we will have Doug Hijack on, and who's from Animal Planet. I think probably that's a name everybody knows. And then you can listen to my news segment at the bottom of the hour.
Yes, and Vance does a great news segment because it's a no bull crap news.
Yes. Is that wrong? I think not.
But and Doug, Todd Neese was
Doug
just up
Hijack,
there.
man, he's great. No, he's a good dude. He's a great dude.
I'm going to have to catch that one again too. I came in late this past Monday.
Okay.
But I did catch your news.
That's good. As long as you got the news, that's all. Me personally, I care about and everything. It's all about Vance. Make everything about Vance.
About Vance. Yes. The heck with Sean
Bill.
and Baker.
No, thanks, Bill, for asking me to do this. And if you need a vacant spot filled, feel free to contact me. I'd be more than happy to help you out.
Maybe we get Sean and Baker.
How about that? And get Sean Baker and Matt Arner and Henry May. Why not? Do a little cross-pollination.
There it is. We'll get the whole crew on.
Yeah, we'll do a little cross-pollination. We can do something like that. He'd be more than happy to do that. How about it?
Let's talk. I'll talk to Sean and that, and maybe we line that up for the 16th of next month.
Oh, absolutely.
Very cool. God, the knowledge will be coming from audience.
Very good.
All right, brother. Hey, thank you again. Folks,
thanks, everyone.
Thanks for joining us tonight. I greatly appreciate it. And we'll catch you next Wednesday night. Take care.
This has been an Agents of the Unexplained original podcast. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe and view on YouTube. And please visit our store link in the bio. Thank you for listening. And remember that paranormal is the new normal.